Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark. It's another 5-minute review. In today's review, we're going to be talking about the recently released Max original film. It's an adaptation. Turtles All the Way Down. It is directed by Hannah Marks, who recently, she's an actress. She's most notably an actress, but prior to this, she directed Don't Make Me Go in 2022. And then after everything, smaller films. Mostly smaller films. This is a small film too, but the film runs at an hour and 51 minutes, so it's a little on the longer side. It's rated PG-13, but it's based off of the book by John Greene of the same name, Turtles All the Way Down, and is also written by, the screenplay here is Elizabeth Berger and Isaac Aptaker, and stars Isabella Merced, who she's been in quite a bit of a few things, but she is a Hispanic pop artist, but most recently appeared in Madam Web, the most notably hated Madam Web. It has a 3.8 rating on IMDb. That's one of the lowest ratings I've ever seen for a film on IMDb. But she plays Asa Holmes in this film, and she's a high school student who suffers from anxiety disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. And she's currently navigating the trials and tribulations of high school while also being afflicted by thoughts that she's that the germs around her are going to kill her, and that's a very simplistic way of putting OCD, or her OCD. But what stuck out to me about this film and why I was glued to it is that I also have a high school daughter who is also diagnosed with anxiety disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. And a lot of this film, while not apples to apples for my daughter's situation, but a very, very close representation to what I've experienced with my daughter and what I imagine my daughter's brain is telling her, and the internal monologue that goes on throughout her day when she has to, she struggles with some crippling thoughts of what is going to do harm to her, and how she has to get past it. And here in this film, Isabel Merced's best friend, Daisy, played by the actress Cree, who is a relative newcomer to here, but she is phenomenal. She makes the movie for me. Cree is like Aza's, Daisy is like Aza's, not handler. Handler's not the right word, but north and her compass and her OCD compass. She grounds Asa when Aza's having these crippling thoughts and gets stuck on an obsessive thought. And the thing about OCD is that you have to tell your brain, and I can speak to this is because I've been to therapy with my daughter, is that you have to tell your brain, yes, what if this does kill me? What if this does make me sick? And here we're using germs because that's what Aza's crippling thoughts is what happens if the germs around her get to her. What happens? She has a cut on her finger in the beginning of the movie, and what happens if she doesn't change her Band-Aid? And the infection could set in. The infection could kill her. Could cause her to lose her finger and all this other stuff. And so in therapy they tell you, yes, What if those things did happen? We have to tell our brain that bad things can happen, but they won't, right? Is because it's not practical. And Asa in this movie has to tell herself all the time, yes, it could, but it won't. And then she's navigating high school, and she's navigating romance, and she's navigating grief because her dad passed away, and she's navigating a deteriorating relationship with her mother, and she's navigating having a best friend who keeps her on track, but also is kind of overbearing and kind of pushes a little too hard sometimes. And how does that make Asa feel? And so I really enjoyed this movie. It won't be for everybody, and it's a John Greene adaptation, so it's heavy-handed in certain aspects, and it really dives into the coming of age, but it's really good. I recommend it. I do. It's not for it won't be for everybody. It's for those who it speaks to, right? Just like a budding high school romance film would speak to probably young girls, but this has a more niche audience of young girls who also have high anxiety, who also think that they might be OCD afflicted or diagnosed OCD. And I just think it's really cool that a film like this was made in 2024, and my daughter can watch it and say, hey, some of that is me, and so representation matters. And it's not just because of color or race or gender. It's because of, medical diagnosis and mental health. And that's really cool. And so it's on Max now. I highly recommend it. Give it a watch. But also don't forget to hit the subscribe button when it pops up so you don't miss any future content right here in the podcast. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So give us a like, follow, and subscribe. We're doing big things. And don't forget the podcast releases weekly every Thursday on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And we'll catch you next time.
This water has to be like 50% urine. That's the good half. Sorry.
I was thinking it's not fair.
Plenty of people with anxiety disorder have fulfilling romantic relationships.
Hi.
Hi.